Hello everybody, thanks for stopping back by Wild Bird Creative. Going to do a quick piece today using a pre-printed background. I was testing out one of my new stencils from Natalie's Studio, which is nataliesstudio.com. She has wonderful art foamies, which are these, and stencils. So what I did was I did a couple prints, I flipped them over, did a couple reverse prints, and then I added watercolor just to keep it interesting. But let's get it stuck down and get things started. We'll make this as quick as we can. Get my adhesive on here. Now my paper is already a little damp because the watercolors haven't totally dried, so it should stick right down perfectly. There shouldn't be any problems. It's just going to be a matter of me getting it lined up the way I want it. There we go. Use my brayer. I'm going to have to add some more. This adhesive does dry pretty quickly. It's not my favorite one, but it's my new one. So I'm making use of it. Okay. So there we go. And it's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I'll just trim it all off later. Let's get that wiped down a little bit. And I think what I'll do is throw a paper towel down. Okay. Let me put the lid on this. Put my brush to soak right away. Now, the next step is going to be using Sean Petit's Moroccan tile stencil. And I'm going to do this on an angle. I want it to be just a little different design than I normally use. And I'm going to use white. Let me get this set up the way I want it. And I'm going to use a fairly textured sponge because I want it to have just a very light impression. I'm not trying to obscure all those wonderful colors underneath. I want them all to work together. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. The nice thing about white is colors will still peek through. You end up with a nice patina. There we go, just a little bit. That's all I wanted. Now, I'm going to shift it because I do want a little bit of one down here just to fill in that corner a bit. There we go. Let me set that aside. I'm going to give this a turn. And now I'm going to use my Stencil Girl products, and this one is S691. And for this one, let's put the white away because that's not at all what I want. I want a nice turquoise, but I'm not sure if I want sparkly turquoise or not. Let me see. If I can find my other one. I've got so many paints over here, and I swear they move themselves around when I'm not looking. Ooh, or I've got this light blue violet. You know what? I'm going to use light blue violet. And I'm going to use a different sponge, start out fresh. And this is just going to be more detail going in. And you'll see I'm just kind of moving it around, getting a nice touch of pattern here and there. This is a great stencil for detail like this. It's delicate. It's got a nice feel. Let's see, let's go right down through here, hit this corner, and we are done with that. Let me set that aside. Now this will need to dry just a little bit before I move on to the next one, which is actually going to be a return to the Sean Petite. But I want that to dry, so let's just give it a second and then we'll get started. Okay, everybody, we're back. It's dry. I found the turquoise I was looking for, and we're going to go back with my Sean Petite Moroccan tile stencil. And I'm turning it so that it is no longer at an angle. And I'm just adding more detail. Let's do the one down here. Okay, now the final thing that I'm going to do is come back in with the original stencil. And this is also the one from Nathalie's studio that I mentioned at the beginning. And let me get all of these out of the way. I'm going to use orange. Because I want something that is the exact opposite of all the colors that I've been putting on it. And I'm just working my way around here and there. Using varying pressure, and as you can see, I'm getting a lovely, lovely pattern. This is a great stencil. It's a 9 by 12, so if you're not used to large stencils, this is a good one to give it a try with. You won't be disappointed. So there we go. And of course, I'm going to flip this over because this is how I started the whole project. It was just doing a product review of the stencil and then flipping it over Look at that great second print that you get. It's just beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to let this dry a little bit more, and we'll do the very final steps.